This is the value and the power of righteousness. Y'all don't have to turn here. Just write the scripture down because it's a little long. But I'm going to read it. Genesis 18, verses 16 through 33. Genesis 18, verses 16 through 33. And this is, I believe, the last scripture. This here scripture deals with God and when he's about to destroy the city of Sodom and Gomorrah and a dialogue that he's having with Abraham. This is powerful. If this doesn't convince you to get righteous, God's definition of righteous, and begin to walk in it, then I don't know what else to say about this. And this is the King James Version. Y'all bear with me. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, I know Abraham, that he will command his children and his household after him, that they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, and justice. Oh, anyway, let me keep reading. And judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he spoke of, the blessing of Abraham. But look what everything that God said, I know Abraham's going to do the justice thing, the judgment thing, he's going to keep my ways. Therefore, he's automatically going to qualify for what I want. That was free. That ain't even why I'm reading this. I said 33, we ain't even close. I just jumped out at justice, glory. See what we know justice is going to do for Abraham. It's going to put him in a position of authority and dominion. Verse 20. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is coming to me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces, this is verse 22, and from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abram stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? God was about to destroy the whole city. And Abraham said, well, God, and I don't want y'all to get this all crazy because God knows everything. God even knew that this here moment, I believe that this moment came for us, not for them. At this moment came so that we can see the power of righteousness. Look at this. Abraham said, wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, perchance, if there be 50 righteous within the city, wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Abraham is preaching at God. Abraham said, you're the judge of all the earth. And if you have 50 righteous men there, then shouldn't they be spared in spite of the fact that there are people who are far away from you that have their own brand or own flavor of righteousness cohabitating there? Right. Abraham, what? Abraham speaking the gospel back to God. That's important. That's important. You got to speak God's promises back to him. Because, and look at this. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Y'all missed it, but it's okay. Y'all missed it. Y'all ain't get it. Y'all, somebody would have do something at me. Don't throw it at me. But no. And Abraham answered, and said, behold, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which I am but just dust and ashes. I look at Abraham's face like, look, I'm only dust and ashes. That's what you made us out of. I know. But you know what? Since I'm talking to you, God, let me keep on talking. Peradventure, should there be a lack of 5 of the 50 righteous? Wilt thou destroy all the city for a lack of 5? And he said, if I find 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake again, and he said, peradventure, should there be 40 found there? And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. So here it is, Abraham going back and forth bargaining with God about what's your cutoff for destroying people, or destroying, more importantly, destroying the righteous people who are in the city with the unrighteous people. Now I know I can go back and forth. I ain't gonna read all of it, but here's the key. Now this is powerful. If y'all don't get nothing else, y'all get this. Write this down, scribble it, tattoo it, whatever you gotta do. You need to get you need to get this. Look at what is happening in this story. If there are, I don't know what the population of Sodom was. I know it was more than 50 people. Had to be a couple of thousand at least. You know, I'm just grabbing out of the air. But even if it was 1,000 people, look at this. God is ticked off at Sodom. God is ready to destroy that place. Sodom is a place where there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of homosexual behavior, there's a whole lot of, just promiscuity and everything else under the sun. Kind of like the inner city today. And God is ticked off and he is ready to just blow up the joint. And we know the story. Eventually he does blow up the joint. But right now Abraham is talking to him. He's like, are you going to destroy it if there's 50 righteous people? God said, I will spare the entire city if there's 50 righteous people. Listen, your righteousness, God's brand of righteousness, covers a multitude of people who don't know him. Do you realize if you're righteous, if you're exercising the righteousness of God on your job, in your life, in your family, then your brother who has not yet accepted Christ yet, he's covered because of your righteousness. That whole city can get spared if God finds 45 or 40 or 30 or whatever the final number was. That whole city. Do you realize when you walk in righteousness, you cover everybody that's around you?